Hello everybody, Dark Skeleton here, and today we're taking a look at two Whispers of the Old God cards. Today it's just spells that kind of have more of a supporting role. So the first one is another priest removal that people are saying, well, this is what you get when Light Bomb goes away, just Shadow Word Horror. 4 mana, destroy all minions with 2 or less attack. Which true, if you compare it to the 6 mana Light Bomb, just deal the attack of every minion on the field to itself. It does seem kind of underwhelming. So it's kind of like having Stampeding Kodo as a spell that hits everything on the field, but doesn't give you a 3/5 body. The problem is, how many circumstances do you really have where the enemy minions have 2 or less attack, and you don't have any 2 or less attack minions as a priest on the field? Not many, really. A lot of people would say that this card should really be 3 attack, and I'd probably agree with them. On turn 4, you might be able to hit some of the aggro minions on the opponent's side of the board, but that's about as much value as this is going to get, typically. And even then, it's just like, oh, you slowed him down a little bit. That's not really good enough to make it played. It's like, okay, so what? You killed 2 of his minions. He's an aggro deck. He's just going to throw out 3 more. So it's pretty underwhelming, honestly. What this card could be used for is if there's a new version of Nerubian Egg or something like that, and you want to trigger your own Nerubians, basically taking advantage of the fact it destroys your own minions, then that might be a little bit better. The problem is Nerubian Egg is leaving standard mode, so we'd have to see some other Death Rattle minions that you want to destroy yourself to enter constructed play, in standard mode anyway. So all in all, there currently isn't a whole lot of use for this card, but if you can, say, reduce all your opponent's attack to 1, which is more of a paladin thing or something like that, you could do a board clear, theoretically. So if they ever give Edric the Peer to Priest, this might actually be pretty okay. But currently, it's kind of tricky to play and probably not worth the mana cost. If this was 3 mana, or if this hit 3 attack minions, I think it would be probably worth considering, but currently kind of weak. Next up is the Mark of Yasharj, which is a 2 mana, give a minion +2/+2. If it's a beast, draw a card, which is very similar to Mark of the Wild, just instead of giving a minion taunt, you're drawing a card if it's a beast. So specifically in beast decks, this card is actually quite insane. If you were ever to do a beast synergy deck, I do think this would be a double include easily. Because it's a cantrip, you get a good effect that's arguably already worth the 2 mana, and then you get to draw a card. Normally it's like Mortal Coil. You would never really pay 1 mana to deal 1 damage, especially if it was just to minions only. But Mortal Coil is special because if it kills the minion, you can draw a card. With this, you get basically a 2 mana spell, and then if you're playing a beast deck, you get to draw a card, or if you even have a beast on the field for this. So this card is actually quite insane, obviously meant to push Beast Synergy Druids kind of into more of a viable thing. That might be where Druid is heading after the kind of inevitable Force of Nature Savage Roar combo gets nerfed. Maybe just a mid-range kind of bulky Druid that just overwhelms your opponent with lots of good minions will become more of a thing, rather than relying on the combo, but we'll have to see. But yeah, very, very solid. Would only be played in a beast deck, obviously, because otherwise you'd use Mark of the Wild, but in a beast deck, it is ridiculously crazy. Anything that lets you draw a card and have the stat value of the mana you're paying is very, very, very powerful. I mean, look at any other draw card in the game. Cantrip draw card, like a 3 mana Gnomish Experimenter. You get a 3/2, and then you draw a card, but if the card is a minion, you don't even get the real card, you get a chicken. So that's kind of what you're comparing it to. So that's all for today, guys. Tune in again tomorrow to see more card reviews, and until then, I've been Dark Skeleton. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you then.